And we are in the Gospel according to John. We're on in chapter 15. I think we've probably broken into 16 at this point. But I think we're about three-quarters of the way through 15. And yes, Jesus has he's giving these lectures about being the true vine, and that if you love him, you'll keep his commandments. And he's starting to hint at the time when he's not going to be around, and starting to drop. And he's going to do quite a bit of that today, sort of foreshadowing what's about to happen to him. And he's trying to prepare his disciples for that by giving them some warnings about what's coming for him. So he starts off, he says, I have told you this, right? So that you may not be driven astray. They will put you out of the synagogue. So he's telling them, look, they're going to throw you out of the synagogue there because of me. But the time is coming when anyone who kills you will be thought to be doing a service to God. So he was even aware of that. He's like, wow, they're going to hunt you down and think that they're serving God. And they will do this because they know neither my Father nor me. But I have told you these things so that when their time comes, you may remember that I told you about them. I did not tell you these things from the beginning because I was with you. But now I am going to him who sent me, and not one of you asks me, where are you going? But because I have told you these things, grief has filled your hearts. But I am telling you the truth. It is to your advantage for me to go away. If I do not go, the Comforter cannot come to you. But if I go, I will send him to you. And when he comes, he will confute the world concerning error and righteousness and judgment. Error, because they do not believe in me. Righteousness, because I am going away to my Father, and you will see me no more. And judgment, because the ruler of this world has been judged. I have much else to tell you, but you cannot handle it now. But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will be your guide to the whole truth, for he will speak not in his own authority, but will tell you what he hears and will report to you of what is to come. He will glorify me because he will take from what is mine and report it to you. All that the Father has is mine. That is why I say that he takes from me and will report to you. So there's quite a bit of foreshadowing there. First of all, that they're going to be thrown out of the synagogue, so they're not going to be considered faithful men. Then he says that they're going to think they're serving God by killing you. I tell you, if I was one of these guys right about now, I'd be like, is there an exit plan for this? You know, that all this foreboding. But then he tells them it's going to be to your advantage, though, for me to go, because then I can send the Comforter, the Holy Spirit, who's going to take care of you and show you things as they need to be. That inner guru, he's going to reveal the inner guru, is basically what he's telling them. I'm going to reveal to you the inner guru, the comforter, and he will see you through in this time. And I'm telling you all of this so that when you see it happen, you're not going to be shocked. If he hadn't told them, they'd be like, what? Look, they're kicking us out of the synagogue. Thanks, Jesus. Look what you've done to us. Oh my God, they're trying to kill us. And everybody's cheering them on. Again, thanks, Jesus. If he hadn't prepared them for it, he would have felt like a terrible letdown. But instead, now it will become a matter of faith building because they'll be like, hey, look, he told us this was going to happen, and now it's happening. You know, a little while you will look on me no longer, and again a little while, and you will see me again. So some of his disciples said to each other, what is this that he's telling us? A little while you will not look on me, and again a little while, and you will see me? And because I'm going to my Father, so they said, what is this little while that he's talking about? We don't know what he means. Jesus perceived that they wished to question him and said to them, is this what you are seeking together to understand? What I meant by a little while and you will not look upon me, and again a little while and you will see me? Truly, truly, I tell you that you will weep and mourn, but the world will rejoice. You will have pain, but your pain will turn to joy. A woman has pain when she is giving birth, when her time has come. But when she has borne her child, she no longer remembers her affliction. Through joy, that human being has been born into the world. So now you also feel pain, but I will see you again, and your hearts will rejoice, and no one will take that joy away from you. On that day, you will not ask me anything. Truly, truly, I tell you, if you ask the Father for anything, he will give it to you in my name. Until now, you asked for nothing in my name. Ask and you will receive, so that your joy may be made complete. So he's speaking very plainly there, very clearly. Really, what he's saying is that there's going to be a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of hurt, a lot of suffering, but in the end, it's going to be worthwhile. You're going to walk away from it rejoicing, very happy, because it will be your freedom. I have told you this in riddles, but the time is coming when I shall speak in riddles no longer, but will tell you in plain language about the Father. On that day you will ask in my name, and I say that I will not ask my Father on your behalf. For the Father himself loves you, because you have loved me and believed that I came from the Father. I came from my Father and went into the world. I leave the world again and go back to my Father. His disciples said, See, now you are talking in plain language and tell us no more riddles. Now we know what you know, and all we have no need for anyone to ask you. By this we believe that you came from God. And Jesus answered them, Now you believe? The time is coming, and it has come, for you to be scattered, each to his own place, and leave me alone. And I am not alone, because my Father is with me. These things I have told you, so that you may have peace in me. In the world you will have affliction, but do not fear. I have defeated the world. So, this is all what he's alluding here to, of course, is the resurrection, because he's demonstrating to them that I have power over life and death, that my promise of giving you immortal life is not an empty promise, and yes, you're going to do without me. I'm going to die. I'm going to be buried, and you're going to think I'm dead, and you're going to see me buried, and you're going to mourn me for at least 3 days. But on that third day, you're going to see me again, and you're going to be greatly rejoiced. You're going to be very happy. Because not only are you going to understand that I'm with you and that no one will ever again be able to take me from you, is what he says, but he says, furthermore, you will know that I have the power to fulfill my promise. You will see God and you will live forever, and we will not be separated again. And so these are very, very powerful words that he's saying in a very, very powerful time. I really see just how terrifying that would be, because even in these times, now I know I'm just bringing this up as an example, I'm not really proposing this, but there have been thoughts in my mind, even in our own political situation, just wondering to myself, gosh, am I going to be safe all the way through this? It's like, if this does, how, depending on how Christian national this turns, how much trouble am I in? It's like, is anybody going to be wanting to knock on my door and drag me off to a to a post in the middle of a stack of logs anytime soon? So I understand that fear would be there, of like, wow, what's he saying, and how nervous should we get that all of this is coming, and then it overshadows it a bit by all this talk of this incredible joy and this incredible happiness for humanity that's going to happen simultaneously. And then this idea of defeating the world. We love and need that. That's one of the main things the incarnation has to do for us, is to demonstrate this is what it is to live according to your nature. This is what it looks like to love without condition. This is what service looks like. This is what egolessness looks like, right? So we get an idea and we get our confidence then, because only from that egoless state could we ever believe that God loves with a love that has no condition, right? Jesus spoke this way and then lifted his eyes to heaven and said to the Father, Father, the hour has come. Glorify your Son so that your Son may glorify you, as you gave him authority over all flesh, so that he will give life everlasting to all you have given him. And this is the life everlasting, that they know you, the only true God, and Jesus Christ, whom you sent. I have glorified you on earth by completing the work you gave me to do. And now, my Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory I had with you before the world began. I made your name known to the people you gave from the world. They were yours, and you gave them to me, and they have kept your word. Now they have recognized that all you gave me was from you, because I gave them the sayings that you gave me, and they accepted them and recognized rightly that I came from you, and believed that you sent me. I ask for their sake. I ask not for the sake of the world, but for the sake of those you gave me, because they are yours, and all that is mine is yours, and all that is yours is mine, and I am glorified in them. And I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world, and I am going to you. Holy Father, keep them by your name, which you gave me, so that they may be one as we are. When I was with them, I kept them by the name which you gave me, and I protected them, and not one of them was lost, except the son of perdition, so that the scripture might be fulfilled. But now I'm going to you, and I say this in the world, so that it may have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I gave them your word, and the world hated them, because they are not of the world, as I am not of the world. I do not ask you to take them from the world, but to keep them from evil. They are not of the world, as I am not of the world. Consecrate them in truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, so I sent them into the world. And for their sake I consecrated myself, so that they may be consecrated in the truth. I ask not for the sake of these only, but I also ask for the sake of those who believe in me because of the word of these few, so that all may be one, as you, Father, are in me and I am in you, so that they also may be in us, so that the world may believe that you sent me. Right? So here he's even using that same word, in. We're all taught that this world is in us, right? Who would have thought that that was a Christian doctrine as well? That Jesus is in them, the Father is in them, the unity is in them, the oneness is in them. And I have given them the glory that you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one. I in them and you in me, so that they may be made perfect as one, so that the world may learn from you that you sent me and loved them as you loved me. Father, I wish that wherever I am, those whom you gave me may be with me also, so that they may look upon my glory which you gave me, because you loved me before the establishment of the world. Righteous Father, even the world did not recognize you, but I recognized you, and these realized that you sent me, and I made your name known to them, and will make it known, so that the love you had for me may be in them, and that I may be in them. All right. Everybody follow everything there? You see this unity. I mean, he's preaching Advaita here. It's a little convoluted, a couple abstracted out a step or two, but the unity is still there, that I may be one in them as I am one in you. He who has seen me has seen the Father, right? So you get all of these hints of this oneness, and that is the mission, the work that he was given to do, was to come and make them one with him in the same way that he is one with the Father.
Swami, I have a question.
Yeah.
Did Jesus knew that he was going to be crucified way before? I
Yes.
thought they were after him, but he knew that he was going to be treated like that.
He knew the whole story.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He knew who he was from the beginning, and he knew that ultimately he was going to have to go through this.
Ah,
And so,
thank you.
yeah. After this prayer, Jesus went with his disciples out beyond the brook Cedron to where there was a garden, and he and his disciples went into it. And Judas, who had betrayed him, knew this place, since Jesus had often gone there with his disciples. He says this is one of those times where Jesus is taking his disciples off to do retreats with them, that they would regularly go off into this garden together to do prayer and to do just what Thakur asks us to do. Every now and then, go off by yourselves, leave your cell phones behind and your partners and your newspapers and your books. Go and be quiet somewhere for a day or two, or as much time as you can manage to go and be alone. Leave all of the things that distract you from God elsewhere. So Judas got the guard and the serving men from the high priests and the Pharisees, and then went there with lights and torches and weapons. Then Jesus, who knew everything that was in store for him, went out and asked and said to them, "Whom do you seek?" They answered him, "Jesus of Nazareth." He said to them, "I am he." And Judas, who betrayed him, was standing with them. When he said to them, "I am he," they drew back and fell to the ground. Again he asked them, "Whom do you seek?" And they said, "Jesus of Nazareth." And Jesus answered again, "I told you, I am he. So if you are looking for me, let these go. To fulfill what he had said, I have not lost one of those whom you gave me." Now Simon Peter had a sword, and he drew it and struck the slave of the high priest and cut off his ear. The slave's name was Malchus. But Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword away in its sheath. Shall I not drink the cup which my Father has given me to drink?" Right? He's saying, what are you doing? Stop it. The guard and its commander and the serving men of the Jews seized Jesus and bound him and took him first to Annas, for he was the father-in-law of Caiaphas, who was the high priest that year. And it was Caiaphas who had advised the Jews that it was better for one man to die for the sake of the people. And Simon Peter and another disciple followed Jesus. And that disciple was an acquaintance of the high priest. And he went with Jesus into the high priest's court, but Peter stood outside by the door. Then the other disciple, the acquaintance of the high priest, went out and spoke to the doorkeeper and brought Peter inside. Then the girl who was at the door said to Peter, "Are you not also of that man's disciples?" He said, "No, I'm not." The slaves and serving men had made a charcoal fire because it was cold and stood by it and warmed themselves. And Peter was standing with them and warming himself. So when the high priest questioned Jesus about his disciples and about his teaching, Jesus answered him, "I have spoken openly to the world. I have taught always in the synagogue and the temple, where all the Jews come together, and I have said nothing in secret. Why do you ask me? Ask my listeners what I said to them. See what they know." When he said this, one of his serving men standing there gave Jesus a slap, saying, "Is this how you answer the high priest?" Jesus answered him, "If I spoke evil, specify what the evil was. But if I spoke well, why do you strike me?" So then Annas sent him in bonds to Caiaphas, the high priest. Simon Peter was standing and warming himself. So they said to him, "Are you not also one of his disciples?" He denied it and said, "I am not." One of the high priest's slaves, who was related to one of those whose ear Peter had cut off, said, "Did I not see you with him in the garden?" Once again, Peter denied it, and immediately the cock crowed for the third time. So you remember that's the prophecy. Peter was kind of boasting a little bit about how he would protect Jesus. And Jesus said, look, Peter, I'm going to tell you some truth here. This night's not going to pass. That cock is going to crow in the morning, and you will have denied me 3 times by the time that cock crows, right? And so here we see that play out. And you can just imagine that contraction in Peter's heart when he does that third denial and then suddenly hears the cock crow in the background. You know, he knew immediately, like, oh, wow, ow, 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 ow. Now they took Jesus from the house of Caiaphas to the residence. It was early morning. They themselves did not enter the residence so as to keep from defilement and be able to eat the Passover. So Pilate came out to them and said, what charge do you bring against this man? They answered and said to him, if we had not been doing evil, we should not have turned him over to you. Pilate said to them, you take him and judge him according to your law. The Jews said to him, it is not lawful for us to put anyone to death. This was to fulfill the word of Jesus when he foretold the kind of death that he was going to die. Then Pilate went back into the residence and called Jesus in and said to him, are you the king of the Jews? Jesus answered, are you speaking for yourself, or did others tell you about me? Pilate answered, I am not a Jew, am I? Your own people and the high priests turned you over to me. What had you done? Jesus answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, and my servicemen would fight to keep me from being turned over to the Jews. But as it is, my kingdom is not here. So Pilate said to him, then what are you king? Jesus answered, it is you who are saying that I am a king. For this I was born, and for this I came into the world, to testify to the truth. For everyone who is on the side of truth listens to my voice. Pilate said to him, what is truth? And so saying, he went back out to the Jews and said to them, I find no fault in him. But you have this custom that I should release one man for you at Passover. Do you want me to release the king of the Jews? They shouted back, saying, not this man, but Barabbas. Barabbas was a robber. So we're getting a lot of insight into human nature tonight in how things are going on here. That they're going to choose Barabbas as their man to let go, even though Jesus has committed no crime, just because the crowd has been stirred up. So it tells you a little bit about human nature. All right, let's stop there for the day.